to, we're actually in a note. The place that we're at is a note at the bottom here, a number Yud. So in order to get to number Yud, you have to say Yud. I never found the Yud in the, I always have trouble finding sometimes the Yuds. Let's start with number Vav up above and read down through. He says, "V'rei bezover chai the ozich of b'kan the fidarko now." The shaladach of the nukva. So that phrase, that's what we're working on. Is the shlita? Is that what we're working on? Of tzadik yesod olam, we're working on tzadik yesod olam. But he says the concept of where the male dominates the female. He says the shaladach on benukva, adach of a nukva. Haina zivug the rasias kli b'bia rishona. Now, when is this happening? This is happening at the beginning when you're making a kli. This is the concept of binyamin, he said before, or I think he did, or maybe the transfer of the shefa is binyamin, I'm not sure. The first time that there's a bia, that's when you see the dominance of the male over the female. The root of the concept of a kli, nimshach mitrin itrin kumavur be'etz chaim. Now, how's this go? The making the kli is really a hamshacha that's coming from the chesadim gavur sadas. I believe that's what he's talking about. He says be'etz chaim, and the Shara Nasira over there, which is Perak Vav of it looks like Kaf Gimel on a Dalit. So he said, and from this das right now, which is pouring down into the Yesod of Zeranpin, Trin Itrin, Trin Kasvin, the Eric Anpin, and the origin of the Trin Itrin, this was a little bit vague to me because of the anatomical aspect of it, but I know that he had this concept of Kosef, which means a gematria of 500. It was double 500. So let's go number Ches. He says, Vehine bezera das, Trin Itrin, Trin Kosvin, the Eric Anpin, they're the Nimshach El Yesod, the Zer Anpin. So ultimately, what flows out of there comes down to the Yesod of Zer Anpin, so ha'elef l'chal shlomo, which is that concept of 1,000. I think he talked about that, but I really wasn't quite sure that I understood it. Let's do number Tes. The Tes says l'meichav chad rucha benukva, and the idea of this is to place this one ruach into the nukva la'asosa kli. So all of this is coming down from the shnei katzvin is ultimately going into the point to the purpose of making the nukva into a kli. V'zechud tzaddik yisod olam. This is the concept of this tzaddik yisod olam, which is our subject. Shel hanukva. So he said, let's say it again. But tzaddik yisod olam. Olam, we said, is the nukva. So the tzaddik, the yisod, ultimately the recipient of the shnei kasvayim of Eric Anpin, shel hanukva, and it makes the nukva a kli of the nukva ki nitan ba yisod shel zachar, because placed into the yisod of the nukva, I guess with the nukva, is the yisod of the zachar, the ruach v'das zachar k'noida, I can't read it. I got a mark over here, mark this one. Ad Khan. Okay, that was all it was. Ad Khan. Okay, let's go. So where we really we're on number Yud, which I actually don't see where number Yud is. I don't know, maybe you saw it. It's got to be so small that I can't find it. So let's go down here and let's see what number Yud, the number Yud says. He says, Inyan Rucha Shuhu Zohar. So let's understand that Ruach goes with the concept of Zeranpin. So Rucha is going to be placed inside of the Nuk. That means the essence of Zeranpin, which we just talked about, is Yesod, is the recipient of the Shtei Kasvayim of Eric Anpin. Rei Be'etz Chaim, he says, look over there, V'hi Necha B'noida, Ki Shem Ben, this Ben, Hama'al Man Hu Binyamin. So let's go back to it again, because I think we've seen Binyamin a few times before, and he defines it this way. The name Ben, which is in the Gematria 52, that kind of thing, that's the power that Ma'alaman, this is the power of really the Chisorim, that, the Ein L'Grama Klum, that the Nuk has nothing. Ma'alaman Hu Ben Yomen, so that power, I guess he says, because the name Ben is also called Binyamin in this case, in that it's Ma'alaman. V'shorsha Duchura b'shem Av. And the root of this, where did Ben come from? This is a little bit vague to me, but he said that the root of where the Duchura, the male aspect, this Rucha comes from, is the Mishem Ad, the human, is the name Av, which is a Milui of Yudin, Shuhu Chochma, V'hu Kaminyan Chesed. Okay, all of these things out of the Chesed. So the root of this is a Chesed that's coming from high up. V'zecha the Nimshach, so this is actually extension, Hazer Anpin Ma'aba Shuhu Chochma. So it comes through on the male line from Chochma into Zer Anpin. Nikra Rucha, so therefore that's a reason called as Rucha. Gehu Zachar Mamish, because Rucha means the male. Shuhu Bechinas Ruach, Shuhu Zer Anpin Ad Kan. Now maybe that would help because Ruach is another one of those words that have so many meanings to it. Over here he says the root of the idea is masculinity, is the concept of giving. I don't know exactly what that means. Ve'inyan Rucha Shuhu Das, so now let's say Hu Zachar. So he says the Ruach is Das. That's the origin of the Ruach comes from Das. V'hu Zohar, and it's masculine. So he said, look over here in the brace in the Eitz Chaim and Shar Lamadawad. He says V'zel Shona B'Dilug. He says Das Malchus. He says Das Malchus. Now where are we going here? B'Bia Rishona Haniach Ba Zer Anpin Rucha La'asosa Kli. So this male aspect that we're talking about, it's coming out of, well, we said the Shtei Kasvayim, and then it came into Das, and then down into Das, it goes into Yesod, is actually the transmission of this Ruach into the Nukva to make her a Kli. This adds to her an interior Das. Now what he means by Das Panimi, I'm not sure. Shuhu Shem Ben. So all of this, I don't string it together that easily. Oz Nisos and the Tosef bought Das Panimi. What is the Das Panimi, he says? It's the name Ben. He said, Who sod Binyamin. So this is the concept of Binyamin, which is Ben. Okay, so you could say it's Ben, it's that Gematria 52. And then it says Yamim on the right side. Because what? Right side is the masculine side. V'oz Choser Das, then the Das Shalom, Lichiyos Bechinas Zocher, and her Das becomes a masculine and an entity within her. Now, this could be a lot of very interesting things over here, because what you're saying, first of all, that we were saying all along that the Nukva is really connected to Zer Anpin. Her root is in Zer Anpin, which is masculine. He transfers this masculinity into her. When it gets into her, he's saying, it seems to me that he's saying that she actually has male aspects as well. Although she's the female aspect of the male aspect, that's what it is, like that. And the female aspect of the male aspect has a male aspect within it. So it goes on and on and on that the male and the female have mixtures of both, I guess. Let's go to number Yud Aleph. Yud Aleph says of the El Sham, Bir bezoyer chai ba'ofen nosif. So there's another way to explain this that came over here in the Zohar Chai. Dechsev v'tzadik Yesod oilam. So here we go, the tzadik, that's the Yesod. Kamavur be'etz chaim, again. What is this? Tinuk? We got a shar Tinuk, that is Tikkun ha-nukva. So I guess it means the Tikkun ha-nukva. That's the shar there, the Tikkun of the nukva. He said, "Ki min ha-yesod nivrach shir kol masa," because from the yesod is created the quantity, or I guess her height. Shir kol masa v'kolo sheish kitzvah. So let me look. See, min yesod, from the yesod, that's a Zer Anpin. Nivrach shir kol masa. This creates her height. Hakolo shisha kitzvah, and her height. Just like Zer Anpin is normally 6, it says over here that she is a normally 6. Because also the Yesod has within it 6. Kartifa kachada, in other words, it's in one. Kartifa is like, I think, like a sack or something like that, or a purse. V'yesh bo vav zeira, and she has inside, v'yesh bo, in that side of this Yesod, is this little vav. And from that vav that's inside of that Yesod is their anpin, it makes the nukva, the malchus. Sheyesh ba shisha kitzvos, and that therefore, as a result of that, she'll have 6 kitzvos too. Now, this is all on the subject of the word rucha. So the tzaddik Yesod oilam, that's the concept of the tzaddik Yesod oilam, that the 6 within him becomes a 6 within her. V'rei b'ha'aras the bira meshulav kan shuhu v'loshen eitz chaim sham ein sham. Okay, so we went through that little piece there, and now we're up at the next one. So the next one said, B'bir inyan nahir yud betrin. Now this is a concept of nahir to the letter yud shines into 2. Question is, what 2? So B'bir inyan nahir yud betrin, Rei b'bir al-meshula the Arizal. So look over there in that. Sheniz boyer lashon betrin al-pi marisrok. Whoever loves this, the Heinlecha Bezer v'nukva ein sham. What is this yud shining into? It's shining into Zohar v'nuk. Zohar v'inyan ha'aras abba hu os yud vav daled, spelled like that. It's the letter yud. This boyer al pi divrei Arizal. We can understand this according to what the Ari said. Bekama bekomos, the sort of binyan guf and nukva that is necessary to build the body of the nukva. So we just got some ideas on this. So he said, before you could do that, the ha'ir ha'aras abba, you have to have the ha'ara abba. So we know from other places that the ha'ara are either abba or the ha'ara, I'm not sure which. So this is not abba actually entering into her, it's a ha'ara that's coming from abba. Episode, hey, b'cha Hashem, b'chachma yasad aretz. The chachma, so he said, was used to establish the nukva. Abba Yesod Barta, excuse me, and there's another phrase, Abba Yased Barta. So he actually establishes his daughter, Ayin Sham, which is Malchus. That has to be a ha'ara from there, ba'aris ba'orach. So I was going to say that we're saying that the yichud can't take place unless you have the influence of Abba. Then I started thinking, well, does he mean the direct influence? What does he mean by that? So anyway, that has to come in at Zeranpin. So we got to number Yud. Is that it? Out of time?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you very much for learning with me today. This is Baruch Fleischman. We are at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and we believe in learning some high-level stuff here.